Our public drop-in centre here in Aston has been buzzing all week, with all manner of short, fat and hairies. But just in are a double act with a difference. Twin beautiful British blues. Hello, how are we, guys?
Very well, thank you.
So, tell me, what have we got here?
We've got Lily and we've got Millie.
So, what seems to be the problem with them?
Basically, last time I took Lily to have her booster shot at the vets, she mentioned that she was probably very overweight.
Oh, really?
Now, I think she's a big girl, but I'm not kind of sure that she is actually overweight, so I thought I'd bring her along today.
So you're kind of, you're one of these people that doesn't want to hear that your pet is overweight?
I wouldn't say that I don't want to, but I would be a little bit sort of upset, to say the least, to say that I had a fat cat. Not only that as well, she's not been very well lately. She had been vomiting quite a bit, and I just wanted to know if it was her food, or if there was anything that I was giving her that wasn't agreeing with her, so just wanted to get that checked out as well.
Lily, please. Hi there, come on through.
A vomiting cat is a cause for concern. Sickness can be a sign of underlying problems. But today, there seems to be more worry about the widening waistlines.
Who's fat? First, you noticed her overweight when the vet told you last time she was seen, or had you thought she was maybe a little overweight before, or was it a surprise to you?
She doesn't look overweight to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was a bit surprised to know that she was overweight.
It's a common problem that I've seen time and again this week. Owners in denial, or at least owners with a distorted body image. But the vets here have a simple and effective tool to focus the mind. So, if we have a look at this chart, where do you think Millie is?
Now that you put it that way, because she's not that skinny. Well, she's in between the two.
Where do you think she is?
In between these two.
She's not obese.
I would edge more towards obese, actually.
You seem quite shocked with that.
I kind of am. I just think, I am actually. I just think she's a biggish cat. I thought her weight was proportionate to her size as opposed to being overweight.
But not just overweight. Unfortunately, the word obese has been used.
Yes.
So the chart says obese. But now for the real test. Millie weighs in at 6.1 kilos, almost twice the recommended weight for a cat of her age. With the results in, it's time to discover the cause.
OK, breakfast. What does she have for breakfast?
She has dry food, I think about 75 to 80 grams of that
in
the morning.
OK.
And then she doesn't get fed again until the evening, where she's just on white fish and prawns.
OK.
And an occasional treat.
The measurement you used for the morning, where did you get that from? That is in the volume? On the packet. OK, that's fine. They are guides. They don't take into account the age of the cat, the breed of the cat, necessarily, the amount of exercise the cat does. So we do need to tailor that to the individual cat. Do they go outside?
No.
No, so they're indoors as well.
House cats have fewer opportunities for exercise, so need less to eat. But these pampered felines have been dining on a 5-star feast, and it shows.
I would probably suggest at this stage you probably halve her breakfast. That is in the extent of her overweight, I would say.
Hard to hear for a lady who clearly dotes on her beloved pets.
Brilliant. You were really good. Well done.
But overweight cats are far more likely to develop a host of other health problems if not kept in check. So, this is cat number 2. And it isn't just Lily who's at risk. Now that you know that Lily is obese, where would you put Millie?
I would say that Millie is slightly smaller than Lily, which means that she's probably in the overweight category.
OK.
She's a lot closer to her goal weight than her sister, but we still have a little way to go with that, so...
Yes, indeed.
I think, Jenny, you know exactly what needs to happen. You seem to be a fairly determined woman, and I think by this time next year we'll have 2 very healthy cats.
I'm sure we will.
It's clear that all the owners I've met during my time in Aston have loved their pets dearly. But many have been surprised at just how much their pet's weight has increased, almost without them noticing. Take Griffin the Beagle here. He certainly looks full of life, but owner Lynn has started to worry that his waistline might be getting a little too wide for comfort. OK, well, let's get him into the vet and see what the vet has to say. He's lovely, this fella. He's your best friend by the looks of things.
He's my best friend, and if anything should happen to him...
Of course.
You know, and it was my fault.
Is Griffin a little bit overweight?
Just a little bit, not a lot.
Lynn might not think there's too much to worry about, but Vet Duncan has other ideas.
He is categorically overweight. We've got a long way to get him to an ideal. But that being said, he's only a very small step short of being clinically obese.
Griffin's weight problem is clearly much bigger than Lynn was expecting.
When we see him from the side, he still does tuck up slightly in the tummy. He's still got a little bit of a waist that you can tell from underneath. We can't easily feel his ribs, his backbone, or his pelvic bones.
Checking for the ribs and see if they can feel the ribs. That's another sign to see if they're overweight.
It's absolutely crucial. When we see pets who are actually the right weight and you can feel the ribs, people start to get really worried that actually their pets are underweight, which is not the case. It's exactly how we as vets love to see them.
Do you feel like he eats an awful lot of food?
No, he doesn't have a lot. He has 3/4 of a tin a day.
And?
He'd have a couple of little bones in the morning after his walk.
Every time he's having a couple of those little biscuits, in relation to his body size and his calorie intake, that's probably the same as you or me going to a fast food restaurant and having a hamburger.
It is something that you can personally change. A lot of people will ignore the fact that it's them. No. So that's great. My heart is telling me that next time we see Griffin, he's going to be exactly where you're going to get him.
Yes, I shall try my hardest.
Well, one of the most interesting things since my time here at the clinic is the food. People are really confused as to what they should actually be giving their pet. Should they be giving them dry food, wet food, human food, a mix of it all together? There just seems to be an awful lot of confusion about it. So I'm here to find out what the good, the bad and the ugly of pet food really is. To cut through all the confusion, we've laid on a foodie feast. One table for good, red plates for bad, and it's guaranteed to contain a few surprises.
So we're going to start with the good to begin with. Okay. So if we start with our canine friends here, what we've actually got here is the amount a Labrador, a small Labrador, should have twice a day. So just that amount. And right. I think when you put that in a bowl, it actually doesn't look like a huge amount.
And nothing else?
Nothing else. If you're going to give something else, you need to reduce the amount of that you're giving them.
Moving on, tell me about this one.
The cat. So again, traditionally, people have just filled their cat bowl with dried food, put it down, let the cat eat all day. That's probably all they need twice a day again.
So what's this?
Yeah, it might surprise you a bit. A rabbit needs its body size in hail grass every day. In the olden days, we used to feed this, the rabbit muesli. Yeah. We don't recommend that at all now. Okay. What we would say is a tablespoon of these nuggets, okay, full of fibre, a handful of green leafy veg twice a day.
And do you find that rabbits have a tendency to overeat?
Yeah, we see quite a lot of rabbits that are overweight, but usually because we start to get onto the treat type items. Treats like this, while they're not poisonous, they are full of fat. So about 25% of that is fat. Okay. So if you're adding this onto that, you're going to see those waistlines balloon.
I'm always under the impression that meat is good to give an animal.
It's fine, it's low fat, it's good, but it's also quite high in salt, it's quite tasty, so you've then got a chance that all they want to eat is that, and then they don't want to eat the nutritious stuff that has everything in it that they need.
Really, everything that's bad for us is bad for them?
Yeah,
is bad for them?
Exactly. And you look at something like a cube of cheese, so one of those to your dog would be the equivalent of you having 1.5 hamburgers, or to your cat, you having a whole pizza to yourself. So I think the other massive surprise is the carrot. Actually, that's really bad for rabbits. What? High in sugar, the equivalent of you having a slice of banoffee pie to a rabbit.
That is shocking. You cannot give your rabbit a carrot.
No. Crisps, cake, all those things. Milk. People love to give their cats milk. Actually, cats can't really tolerate milk.
You're killing my childhood here.
I know.
You can't give cats milk. You can't give rabbits carrot. No. I mean, really, the knowledge out there seems to be kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
We've seen the good, we've seen the bad. The ugly.
Yeah, this is the really ugly, and this is the toxic section. This is the foods you should never give.
So what we're talking about here is this is poisonous to your animals, people. Poisonous, okay?
Grapes are poisonous for dogs, so they shouldn't have them. They can cause reactions that can really damage inside, give them problems with their organs.
This is obviously a dried bone.
Yeah.
So why should you not be giving this to a dog?
So with cooked bones, the problem we often see is when dogs chew on them, munch on them, they can splinter, and then there's a real risk of them getting stuck in their throat or somewhere further down in their guts. So moving on to the final 2 plates is chocolate. So the higher the cocoa content, the more dangerous it is. There's a chemical in it that again can make dogs either really sick or even potentially die from eating it. With anything like this, if your dog does consume any, it's about speaking to your vet straight away, finding out whether it's a toxic dose and what needs to be done.
Okay, so moving on from the chocolate.
Yeah.
Very interesting plate. We've got an onion, we've got some garlic, and we've got chewing gum.
Yeah. So it's the xylitol in chewing gum that again can make them really, really poorly. That can be dangerous. And again, garlic and onions. So it's really watching those leftover takeaways, that piece of pizza that maybe has onion and garlic in it, giving them those can really cause a problem. People don't do it every day, but they start to do it more and more. And eventually you've got a cat that's grown from 5 kilos to 10 kilos and is starting to have some really serious health issues.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Nicola. Some fantastic information there. I think it's clear that the way forward is to stick with the tailor-made foods. Always check the packet for portions, and if you're in doubt about a food, don't risk it for a biscuit on your pet. What an amazing week we've had at our drop-in clinic here in Aston. I mean, the vets and nurses have been dealing with some amazing big problems, and when I say big, you know what we're talking about. And hopefully, before long, we'll see those waistlines come down.